Hey guys, I've done a bunch of GR2 videos recently, and now a number of people are reaching the end game. I don't think I'm going to cover any more of the generic stages, but I am going to make this video focused on stage 19. Just so you know, stage 19 is when things get trickier. You can do this with epics only. I'm not going to in this video as this is on the global server. I do have an existing video showing you how to do it with explicitly just epic heroes, not even a Volker. This video is going to use almost identical strategy to that one. It's just going to be doing it with a slightly less free-to-play friendly team. I will show you the gear at the end, but this is the team that I do use. I'm just going to turn the power of dominance off, and we'll go over the placement and you'll see exactly what I'm doing. So you can see I'm massively under the BP. As people keep bringing this up in comments, please understand that BP is just a random generic milestone they generated. It's averaging across all of your heroes. I am using a couple of heroes that are not geared or built at all. I'm using some heroes that are not fully started up, so it's pulling my BP score down a lot. And so BP doesn't really matter. It's kind of a useless number. It's just there for people to measure against each other. Anyway, let's begin and I'll walk through it as I place the heroes. Okay, so first things first, my Vierna goes down. She's my main damage dealer, so I want her to be up when my Dolores will be dead, because unfortunately my Dolores will die. So, well, there we go. We can deal with the first of these guards, and that's not too much of a problem. And the second one, we have both ults up, so either way we'll be able to kill it. When they're dead, we can despawn these to get half their cost back. And now the Golem Shriek is coming into play. If you check settings, monster manual, primitive Golem, you will see it has a new ability in stage 19 onwards. It deals 150% of the max HP to all enemies. So all of your heroes are going to take 150% of their max HP as damage. And just so you know, it is true damage as well. You cannot reduce this by having high defense or anything like that. It is 150% of your HP as damage. There's nothing you can do to reduce that as far as I know. So now we got past the Shriek, but we have to deal with the Golden Guards and an Earthshake. So as the flash happens on the first instance, so there's 3 pounds, and then the big one is the third one, I place down my Decimus to block, and then as we come up to the final pound here, just as it ends, I'll place my Carmet facing forward. I'll place my Dolores next in the middle, and then my Vortex. I want my Vortex to be last as he's a bit tankier. As these guys are rolling, I can then place an Olag to block. They die as it's their second impact, and we're good. So now the next thing to know about this strategy. I have deliberately placed Vortex on the right side. You would think he would be fine on the middle. The reason for this is I want him to be to the side of Isolde. Isolde has a passive every 30 seconds. She gives allies to her left and to her right a massive shield. And that is what I'm relying on for this strategy. That's how I'm going to survive the next Shriek and the one after it. It will also save my Dolores. I did try it with a mage, so like Vierna or Carmet in the middle, but they died in the later stages anyway, so this worked out better. The timing for placing Isolde seems to be about when they throw their boulder or about now, so there's a few seconds leeway. It doesn't matter all that much. But this isn't the hard part really. I can ult with Dolores and I can ult with Carmet, and that will wipe out all of these enemies quite easily. The tricky part is that we need to... So just first though, we have to ult with Vortex as soon as we can without the shield getting damaged by those adds. And then you see that the shield is up from Isolde. She slams her sword down. I despawn Carmet because he will die otherwise. So now, there we go. Everyone survived. So now is the tricky part. We need to survive the Earthshake as well as these golems that are rolling into us, the Golden Guards. So we place down 2 unyielding heroes, Decimus and Baron, to absorb. And we need to ult from Isolde to reduce the damage taken. So we're going to despawn Dolores because she's just taking healing away at the moment. And when this happens, this roll here, we're going to despawn our Decimus because he's also taking healing away. I'm just waiting for them to turn around a bit to give some distance so that he does die when he starts to roll again. So about here and about here. So now all 4 of them are rolling again. Everyone is alive. I can place down my Vierna. My Vierna is strong enough to handle this by herself. That's the reason for the Vierna. So everything has gone pretty well so far. Boulders are coming at my Vortex. He doesn't care all that much, so that is good. And now we just need to handle this part here. All of these enemies. There's a whole bunch of enemies coming in. A bunch of boulders are coming towards my Vortex. So he's got to survive and keep people alive. So it's a pretty tall order for poor Vortex. We'll just fire one more attack and then we'll ult. And boom. That is everything dealt with in one fell swoop. Now we need Vortex's ult to desperately come up. Because you can see it's pretty tight. We need it right now. Otherwise everyone is dead. There's no way around that. Everyone dies if he can't ult. So if you are too good at killing the wave and he doesn't build rage from healing people, he won't get it in time. Fortunately, he does. Isolde's timing is still up correctly. It's about the same 30 seconds, so all the shielding is in place. But Isolde herself does not get shielded enough. So that is very unfortunate and obviously not the outcome that I wanted. But we're probably okay. So I can still try the same thing with Decimus. Waiting for the flash. There we go. Ah, it was on the wrong side. That was not what I wanted. That's unfortunate. So that one hits. We can despawn. And now we can place down... Let's place down our Salazar just to deal with this, to make sure that's handled. Because I will need my Olag on the left side. So there we go. And now we have our healers in place. It's not great, but we've made it to the boss. This is quite messy. Messier than the first run I did was. So I'm not over the moon with how this has gone. And we don't have a lot of time on poor Olag. He's going to get absolutely flattened. So we have to buy enough time for some of my real defenders to come up. Because I haven't built Olag. He's only 4-star. The poor guy is hanging on by the skin of his teeth right now. So there we go. Just need Dolores to stay up a little bit longer. There we go. There's the ult. So as you can see, super clean. No concerns whatsoever. And there you have it. That's GR2 Stage 19. Flawless run, no problems whatsoever. I promise when I beat this on this account the first time, it was a lot smoother than that. It did take quite a few attempts, but that's how I beat it. That's the strategy I use. As you can see, it's basically 2 DPS, 2 AoE nukers, mages, Karma, and Vierna. Vierna is the main clutch for me because she can eliminate waves without a Dolores. Her gear now is way better than it was when I first did this, because now I can actually farm good gear from stage 19. So that's how I did it normally when I had to unlock Power of Dominance. But now that I've achieved Power of Dominance, I had to tidy the run up to make it a bit more stable. So I'll show you my auto. This is what I devised as my slightly more stable auto run afterwards. It starts practically the same. It's just your damage numbers are way, way higher and people are way tankier. So it's a lot easier to do. There is still some variance in auto runs, so things can go wrong. But so far, this has been a 100% success rate on this auto run. I haven't had random failures because it does have a seed sometimes. If you try and auto it and it fails at a certain point, it will fail at that certain point until you exit and come back and queue it again. Anyway, you can see it is pretty much exactly the same strategy for most parts of it. It's just that there's more reliability in certain people surviving certain waves. So yeah, there's not too much to say beyond what I've shown you. Again, this is not supposed to be a, hey, here guys, here's how everyone can beat the stage. This is the strategy I devised to beat it with the heroes I have, relying heavily on a Vierna to wipe waves and a Karmet to wipe waves. So you do need to figure out your own way of killing the waves and surviving the damage coming. You see in this auto run, my Olag died, but I did actually account for that, and I had a Decimus place and then a Salazar. Salazar gets spanked out of existence, but fortunately I have a Baron to take his place, but I still have all of my DPS available, so with a Dolores boosted ult, the boss goes down. So anyway, that's it. That's my auto run. That's how I clear GR2 Stage 19. It's very fiddly. It's not very easy. If you have a Sadie, it becomes infinitely easier. If a lot of people have Sadie and they're stuck and they don't want to mess about with this strategy, as I acknowledge this strategy is not very friendly, especially if you do not have some of the nukers that I'm using, then let me know and I'll probably make another version using a Sadie based team. If you don't have a Sadie and you're unable or don't want to do this strategy, well, then you're kind of out of luck. It's very hard to beat GR2 19 onwards. If this is not beginner-friendly content, this is not entirely free-to-play friendly content, you will need legendaries to beat this if you're not willing to do this strategy. You can do this strategy with epics only. Instead of Karmet and Vierna, you can use a Maul. He has a massive AoE nuke, so a Dolores boosted Maul will one-shot all of these enemies easily. And even Brienne can handle this. So there are definitely epic heroes that can do enough AoE damage to wipe these waves, but they will need Dolores boosting them, and all of them will need to be in good gear. So yeah, there you have it. I didn't do it with the epics because why would I? I have some legendary mages, I'm going to use them. But hopefully this helps some of you guys clear this stage and get to farming some better drops. It's very nice to be able to farm some good gear again. I've got a few ancients today already from it. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's all I wanted to go over in this video. I hope it's helpful to some of you, or at least interesting. And with that, we'll call it a video. So thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.